But when we think of 40 years and having seized the opportunity to come together to interact, we are blessed when we look at the growth and development over the years. We pause to give God thanks for His keeping care and His tender mercies. And so we have included church service to celebrate the work of God in our lives. Amen. But last night we had to pause to remember that at least 14 persons who graduated with us are no longer here with us. It is a stark reminder that we are not permanent fixtures in this world. We are sojourners, and one day our time on this earth will come to an end. And so it is wise to hear the words of the wise man Solomon. In Ecclesiastes 11:9, he says, "Rejoice, O young man, in your youth." I am happy to hear that we look young. He says, "And let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these things, God will bring you into judgment." Today, as we look back on our sojourn, we note that we have had more years behind us than what we will have before us. And so we remember that someday we will stand before God and give an account for what we have done in this time. Because He is the one who created us. And He is the one who will judge us in the end. The story is told of this little boy who went to his father and asked the question, "Daddy, where did I come from?" And the father said, "Son, we were all made in the image of God. God made us. He had a plan for our lives. He planned that we should be here, how long we should be on this earth, and when we should die. But the little boy wanted a second opinion. So he went to his mom. And he said, "Mommy, where did I come from?" Mother said, "Son, it's a long story." There was a big bang. And for millions of years, things evolved. Until we were monkeys. And then we evolved and became human beings. The boy went back to his daddy and he said, "Daddy, you lied to me. Mommy told me the truth." And he was so upset with his dad. In an effort to calm his son, the father said to his son, "Son, don't worry about it. She's only talking about her side of the family." But I believe all of us can embrace. It is He who has made us and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. That's why we are not afraid or ashamed to enter into His gates with thanksgiving in our hearts and into His courts with praise. For we know that the Lord is God. His mercies are everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations. God bless you.
As we continue worship here, and let us celebrate with choruses. During the singing of the second chorus, they walk around and each other. Redemption, come and praise the Lord. He lifted me up on the rock. I stand and redemption coming, praise the Lord. Glory to His name. During the singing of hymn 569, Count Your Blessings, I will invite ushers to come and collect the tithes and offerings.
Thank you.